Time now for your forewarned weather with Chief Meteorologist Alana Brophy.
All right, Alana, let's check in for a look at the weather today and throughout the weekend.
We had those clear skies, Emily. It was gorgeous. This was the sunset coming out of Nephi. Thanks, Brad, for sending it our way. Consistently sends those skyscapes from Nephi, and we appreciate it. High temperatures today, 92 in Salt Lake, running above the average of 84, which we typically see this time of year. 80s and 90s in eastern Utah, made it to 95 in St. George, which actually is seasonal for this time of year. Em, I heard you. I know. I love the warmth, too. High temperature trend shows, though, we start to cool as we get through the next couple of days, and that ridge of high pressure that's brought us the warmth, it's going to start to weaken. Okay, while we talk warm, we also have to talk dry. Live view down there in St. George. You can see the city lights, temperatures in the 80s. Wanted to show you this because it's one of the spots getting back to abnormally dry conditions. Drought Monitor shows that in Kane County and Washington County on the eastern side of the state. We also see in yellow abnormally dry. 8% of Utah in the moderate drought category. Now, very low percentage, especially when it comes to this time last year when 96% of the state was facing some sort of drought. Moab to Blanding in that moderate category. Wasatch Front not facing drought conditions. 74% of Utah is not. Okay, we're going to bring in some moisture as we head into tomorrow. And you notice how that area of green that brings the general thunderstorm threat, that is for a very specific area, and it's due to our westerly flow. So the positioning of this high pressure moves a little further south, and it allows for a wide rotation, and that brings in westerly flow. You're going to see that increase of green here in the forecast. That does include by Sunday in the southern half of the state. So Saturday, it's central Utah. Sunday, it's the southern half. Here comes that area of low pressure as we head into next week, and that brings the potential for northern Utah to possibly see an isolated storm. So we couldn't hold on to that high pressure forever, and some subtle changes now on the way for your weekend. Futurecast gives us a really good view in the timing of them. As we get through tonight and into early tomorrow morning, really quiet conditions with that high pressure holding. But here comes the cloud cover with that westerly flow, and the storms want to bubble up as we make it into the afternoon and evening. You can see from Utah County down towards Beaver County and on the eastern side of the state, the model wants to bring that in. Now keep in mind, this energy, it looks robust, but the high pressure that we've had in place really has brought in some dry air, so these storms have to erode that. They're tracking from west to east, and you notice as we get through our Saturday, the potential holds on for the evening. Okay, into Sunday, it's the southern half of the state. 80s for tomorrow along the Wasatch Front, 50s and 60s for your overnight lows. We'll see 80s and 90s in eastern Utah, and as you head down that I-15 corridor, upper 80s with 90s in St. George. In the north, Mountain Valleys looking beautiful. 79 in Park City, 86 in Ogden, Tooele in the low 80s. More cloud cover in the central portion of the state as we bring in the potential for that wet weather. It would be isolated. Down south, we get upper 90s throughout Washington County, Kanab in the upper 80s. A little more cloud cover, especially over the mountains. Here's your St. George 7-day. Slight chance on Sunday. Temperatures really begin to cool as we bring in more moisture potential and cloud cover. Isolated storms Tuesday through Thursday. Here's the Wasatch Front. You're going to see those 90s turning to 80s. And we also get the slight chance for some isolated storms. Okay, Saturday brings in college football. Wanted to show you Utah Tech's playing, and by the end of the game into the 80s, but hot to start. Also, we've got Utah State setting up. Your forecast there, if you're an Aggies fan, and going to be up in Logan, 80s throughout the game. Okay, tailgaters, SUU taking on BYU, 70s for tailgating, and then warming up by the close of the game, we're talking 80s.